I mean, I think now's a good time as ever to start the video, since we're got imminent death ahead. And right as I said that, I died. Nice.
There you go.
All right. So, of course, first topic. Battlefield's an arcade shooter. So let's talk about realism. How much realism should there be? How much should there not be? I think a lot of people know my opinion on this. We'll start with Deuce. What is your opinion on realism in Battlefield? In general. Just in general.
General realism. Okay, well, I'll have to reiterate what you said at first, which is that Battlefield is an arcade shooter. Gotta start with that first and foremost, because it is an arcade shooter. So, how much realism should there be in an arcade shooter? Let's just reiterate that as many times as I possibly can. All right, so
just one more time for the people in the back, bro.
Right, yeah, so as far as arcade shooters are concerned,
one more time, Brandon.
Yeah. So so the reason that I think that realism should be on a mediocre level at best is that first of all, it's an arcade shooter. You're supposed to play it to have fun. The first form of fun is removing yourself from reality, which negates realism in and of itself. Now, everyone has their own form of fun. I'll definitely not say that I am the arbiter of what is fun in the world. That would be horrible. I think everyone would hate life if they had to go by my definition. But like, I don't know. In general, I think that realism is one of those things that you have to balance it, and I would balance it always more on the side of it's still an arcade shooter. I really don't even know what else to say. That's my general opinion. It's supposed to be fun first. Realism negates fun. Otherwise, why are you playing a video game? Go join the Marines.
Oh, don't pull logic on us now.
Give you all the realism you want out there.
Oh man. All right. Standing opinion on realism.
Yeah. Sorry. It's an arcade shooter. Realism should be mitigated only to maybe smaller things like cosmetics, vehicle cosmetics, or avatar cosmetics, whatever. You want to keep it real there, keep it real there. Recoil notwithstanding, bullet drop, those things are fine. Bullet velocity to some degree is okay. God, yeah, it's an arcade shooter. Make it fun. Let it be fun. I don't want to put TNT on a freaking Jeep and go blow up a tank. Let me do it. Don't ruin it by saying, "Oh, well, we're going to add this cool animation to it, which is going to take twice as long." It's more realistic looking. Arcade shooter. Leave it alone. Let it be fun. Let me be allowed to jump out of a plane with a damn bazooka and blow up another plane. It's an arcade game meant for fun. It's not meant to be realistic. If you want realism, go play Arma. Or go play some other, simulation warfighter or something like that. That's not what Battlefield is and never should be. That's my opinion.
I think that is a correct opinion. I can't remember who said it. Someone said it the best one time. Where it was like, hold on, I'm trying to get this guy right here. 1 second. Oh, there he is. Okay. Shit, I lost my train of thought. What am I saying?
Someone said something one time.
Yeah, it was someone on Twitter, and they were talking about, realism in Battlefield, how there should be like a balance between fun and realism. I know Flack talks about that a lot, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't him. Fuck, I'm like totally forgot what I was talking about. Shit.
It could have been AK Art, could have been Danny, could have been Westy, who knows?
What the fuck was it? I literally, like, as you were talking about it, I had like this aha moment, and now I'm just like, I have no idea what it was.
Well, yeah, there should be a perfect balance between the realism and arcade style. but it has to balance more so towards the arcade style to maintain that fun.
Yeah, I mean that's the gist of the thought, you know, is it should be more towards fun. Realism is fine to an extent for things like immersion and atmosphere, but outside of that, like, fun needs to be the priority. I don't think any of us play this game to pretend we're actually in a real war. I mean, standing, you're actually in the military. I'm sure you don't play it to act like you're still in the military.
Hell no. If that was the case, then I'd be playing a game where I'd be mopping the floor 24.
Yeah, nobody likes that. Nobody wants to do that.
No.
You can do that without joining the military. I mean, damn.
Don't tell my wife.
Oh. I promise I'll keep my mouth shut. What happens on BattleCast stays in BattleCast. As far as that goes. I mean, yeah, it's an arcade shooter, like we've reiterated a billion times. Just let it be. Just let it be fun. Let those only in Battlefield moments happen. The animations and everything, like Standing was talking about, I think this is my thought that I was trying to get back to. The animations look great for cinematics, and there's some people who do amazing cinematics in the community, but for gameplay, they suck. They're not fun. Getting in or out. Like, they don't need to be there. They don't serve any purpose to gameplay outside of just frustration, if we're being honest with ourselves.
Yeah, it kills the fun factor.
Yeah. Same with, like, poor visibility. I mean, I know people don't really like shooting at Doritos, but, you know, I guess we'll get more into those specifics as we go. But
God damn right.
Yeah, it needs to be about fun.
I love it. It's just he's there and he's like, God damn right.
All right, so let's get into the first topic here. So, number of people of squads and how many classes should there be? Obviously, each Battlefield game has a different amount of people in squads. Well, I guess Battlefield 5 is kind of the major one that switched it all up. But there have been varying number of classes in each game. And I know the last two had 4 just basic infantry classes. Then, of course, there's the different vehicle classes. And then more as you go back into previous games like BF4, BF3, it kind of changes. I think BF2 had like 8 or something like that for infantry. There was one of them had just a ridiculous amount of infantry classes. But how many should there be in the next title? How many does there need to be, and how many roles should there be in order to properly balance everything? We'll start with Standing this time.
Oh yeah, okay. So case in point with Battlefield 5, you had the 4 classes. Each class had 2 roles, if I remember correctly, because I just played the game today anyway. And I believed in the beginning of Battlefield 5, they had also talked about adding more roles to each one of those classes, which I believe also, again, remember correctly, a lot of the community was super excited about that. They wanted more roles. I mean, and I don't blame them. I think right now the assault class has infantry, and then it has vehicle buster. Right? With main infantry, I think you run a little bit faster. You regenerate a little bit more health when you're out of combat. Vehicle buster, you automatically spot that vehicle that you hit, especially with any kind of gadget. And I think you get more requisition points as well if you destroy a vehicle. With Battlefield 6, I would like to really see something with that further developed. With classes, I keep it to the basic 4. Keep it to the basic 4 classes that there should be. Main infantry, you got your assault, medic, port, recon. Keep it that way. Then you got your separate classes for vehicles and planes. Keep it that way. I think adding more roles would be cool. Yeah, I think that'd be really awesome. I think the community would love to see something like that. Yeah, you got an assault guy, you got the vehicle buster, you got the main infantry guy for assault, and maybe you got something else entirely. Maybe you got an assault guy that's completely just a vehicle specialist that he can jump into a enemy tank or a friendly tank that's being bombarded or something like that. And maybe him being in that tank, he's able to self-repair it or something. It'd be cool, but yeah, I say keep to the same basic 4. There's no reason to add more classes to that. I mean, if you add more classes, what would they be in the first place?
Well, what about like engineer? I guess kind of part of the engineer role has been put into support, but what if they brought back that class?
Well, some part of the engineer class is also now the assault class. If you look at the gadgets, I mean, engineer class, you had everything you could take down a tank or a plane with, which is now the assault class. And some of the engineer parts has also been switched over to support class too, with the repair weapon and all that stuff too. But I don't know, man. I mean, just my basic opinion on that. I'd just say, hey, leave it at 4 classes. If you want to add to those classes, maybe a minimum of like 3 roles per class. You want to make it more, make it more. Hell, I don't know where you could go out with that. Maybe with a recon class, you got your basic CQB, close quarter combat sniper that's going to use mainly suppressed weapons, and he gets a bonus for using those suppressed weapons. Maybe you got a role that's within that class of recon that is a long range sniper. We know that's going to happen. They're going to make some enormous maps, I'm sure. Maybe he's a specialist. Yeah, you're not going to get revived. Dread will probably go get you, but I'm not going. But you got a long range sniper out there. Maybe he gets a bonus for he can hold his breath a little bit longer or something like that. He has the availability to make those long range shots. Yada yada yada. Or take it back. Battlefield 4 a little bit. You had those scopes that were like times 20 and times 40, I think, on some of the sniper rifles. What if those scopes were only available for that particular role of sniper class? He's a recon, but he's long range sniper, so he can only use those 20 time and 40 time scopes or something. Just throwing it out there like that.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really interesting concept for that type of stuff.
Yeah, just keep it a basic 4 classes, but maybe expand on the roles a little bit more. Give each role, I wouldn't say more work, but more areas where they can expand and kind of grow from there.
Okay. I kind of like those ideas. I'm kind of interested in those. I think that could offer a lot of ways for guys to build certain things, but prevent maybe certain absolutely overpowered kinds of classes. I don't know. Maybe there's ways you could go about that. Deuce, how do you feel about classes?
Well, to be honest, I actually feel relatively similar. I've been thinking about this one for a while, actually. There was a stream a little while back that that Standing was doing, and we were discussing particular topics for the show and whatnot. And Gomer Pyle was on there, and he came up with some really interesting points that I had not really considered as heavily before he brought them up. One of those was that if you have more than 4 classes, then you have to consider how many people you're going to have in your squads. And one of the things that makes having 4 classes as with even more than 4 people is that you are, especially if it's more than 4 people, you are guaranteed to have a double up somewhere. So somebody else is going to be able to help you doing what you're doing specifically. At least one person in the squad is going to have that, and that's a good thing to have. It's because that builds teamwork. It's one of the things that Battlefield 5 wanted people to do, but forced it. And this would be something that it wouldn't even force it. It would just be a natural thing. There's an extra person there doing the same thing as somebody else. So those 2 people are probably going to, in some way, shape, or form, as long as they're working as a team, going to work very well in concert together. And that's exactly what you want. You want that happening for teamwork. You want that for PTFO. That's 2 huge components for that. So that scarcity of having more than 4 classes, so instead of having 5 or 6, if you have 5 or 6 classes, what if somebody chooses not to use a class, but you really need it? What if nobody on the team chooses to use that class because nobody likes it? You know what I mean? Like there's issues that come with having too many classes. And inevitably there's going to be classes that people choose never to run. Simply because they're going to be considered underpowered compared to everything else that's out there. It's just what happens with any meta in any game. The other thing that I would refer back to is actually there was a video by SMK, and it pertains to exactly what Standing was saying, which is more roles. And instead of more roles, SMK had a video where he came up with a customizable role, where you get to choose your role specifically in a wide variety of instances that allows your gameplay to tailor to the roles that you're picking. So you get to just improve upon what you're already good at, or you can expand your play type and go into other types of roles. And it's a really amazing video, and I actually wish that I could find it. I can't remember the name of it at the moment.
I'll try to find it and I'll link it down below
really
when we post the episode. Just we'll look for it after, and that way I can have it and I'll post it.
But yeah, I mean that's the gist of how I feel about it. As I really think that having a more customizable role that you can tailor in many different ways is a much better way of going about it, as opposed to adding more classes.
Definitely not more classes.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of like that idea. I'm gonna have to watch the video to kind of find out. I don't think we need more classes. I think they're pretty balanced the past couple of games as far as what each role is supposed to do. I kind of agree with you guys for the most part. I kind of almost liked medics being able to have SMGs, because if I'm trying to get, deep and dirty, getting revives and everything, I'm gonna need to get those CQB kills. So I kind of like that in BF5, but I felt like the past couple of games they were mostly balanced. If they were going to add another class, maybe only do like one more, and I mean, you'd have to separate some roles out, but that'd probably limit what you could do with the other ones. And then the other part of the question, I mean, I know we talked a little bit about number of people in a squad, but how do you think that would? Let me word this the right way so I know I'm trying to ask, because we already kind of talked about, of course, 5-man squad versus 4-man squad,
Or 6.
or 6 even. Although that'd be a lot of people in one squad. And then we talked about a little bit about the class roles. How do you think that would be able to be balanced as far as like the roles go within each squad? So like maybe, and this might have to do a little bit with SMK's video, I don't know, I haven't watched it, but maybe like as you build out members of the squad, maybe you can have an assault who's more vehicle focused versus another assault who's a little bit more anti-infantry focused, just due to the role that they have and if that can impact the weapons they have access to. Or do you think that'd be a little too restricting if they did something like that? Because I feel like in a way it could build upon the strategy within the game potentially, like how you want to build out what you're trying to do in a particular match. But do you think that could be a little too limiting in that capacity? Or do you think that that would be a way to add depth to the gameplay and a little bit more depth to the strategy? What do you guys think, if I made sense there?
Yeah, you made sense with that, actually.
Okay.
I don't think it would limit too much. I actually think it would add a lot of depth to the gameplay. You would actually have to tactically think how you're going to play it out. Just for example, like what you were kind of saying, say I choose that assault class and I have a certain role in, like you were saying, you only say that one particular role that you're playing with that class only allows you to use certain gadgets. Okay. If I'm an infantry main player who's only going for mainly infantry people and stuff like that, then I'm going to have gadgets that are going to be aimed toward that. Whereas if I'm the vehicle buster or something like that, I'm going to have more opportunities to use certain gadgets that allow me to take out those vehicles, anti-vehicle weapons and stuff like that, like a bazooka or a grenade launcher or something like that, of that sort. No, I don't think it would limit it too much. I actually think that would kind of add a little bit of depth, make you definitely play a little smarter, even with your squad of people that you're playing with.
Okay. It's definitely an idea to toy with. Deuce, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think it actually ties in well with what SMK was saying. If you watch the video, it especially if you were to go more in depth on what kind of weapons you could access. I really find that particularly interesting. Like, let's say you decided to be that assault guy that's a vehicle buster. Maybe now your weapon comes with a particular attachment that gives you an extra way to bust up some vehicles. That would be a pretty cool way of going about things. Or if you're, say, a medic who prefers to make sure that everyone is revived, maybe if like I don't know, this would probably be overpowered just as I'm saying this, but if like instead of only reviving one person, you could like revive like an area, you know what I mean? Like a 3 or 4 foot area where like 5 people all just died or something like that. Like, sounds insanely overpowered as I say it, I'm saying, but just something like that. It sounds really interesting, the different varieties of things that you would be able to do with that.
Yeah, maybe like a larger radius to be able to throw out heals. Like if you put down a crate for heals, you get a bigger area of effect.
Right.
Yeah, that could be pretty cool. I mean, I think it would work better if those kinds of things were done as bonuses on top of what the class can do, I guess. The more I kind of talk about it and think about it right here, rather than maybe necessarily overly restricting something, like kind of like what Standing was saying and kind of like what you're saying, where it's like maybe if you go for that super anti-vehicle class, you get an extra grenade launcher that has an anti-tank round in it under your assault rifle, something like that. Like, or that would be pretty cool in my opinion.
Specialist in explosives, it does a little bit extra damage or something like that.
Yeah.
Or receive less damage. If you remember in Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 1, there was like you had little specialization things that would pop up after a certain amount of time, after you got so many points or whatever. Like Battlefield 4, I think one of my guys, like after so many points, he got flak. And basically, what that meant is he received less explosive damage after a period of time. I think Battlefield 1 had something very similar to that too, actually.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do. I know they have like roles that you can kind of set up.
Was it, Drid?
I said Warzone has pretty much the exact same thing with its perks. You can put on EOD and it makes it so that explosives hurt you less. And that's the one thing that makes this whole thing kind of you really have to balance it quite well, because I mean, like if you got the vehicle buster, well then there should be a tank out there that has, extra armor so that it can counter that vehicle buster. Stuff like that,
Yeah, because they've had stuff like this in the games that we have now. I don't think they've gone in depth enough with them. Where it's like you have these class roles where you get these little bonuses and perks, but they're not really that tangible for the most part. Like it's like you take 10% less damage on body shots or something like that. Or like you run 10% faster when you select you're going to revive someone. Like that's really the extent of it. They've never really been all that major of a game changer, I guess.
Yeah, even with Battlefield 1 and the suppression thing, like I think one of the specializations was like receive 10% less suppression when using this kit and this and blah 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 blah. And it's like, it didn't really help. You don't really notice that 10% difference,
Yeah, Gotta notice it too much there, buddy old pal. Yeah, no, I pretty with you there. I guess kind of moving on from that. How effective should camouflage be? I think we started with standing last time. We'll start with Deuce this time.
Camo should be effective. Now the problem with how effective becomes, should someone sitting in a bush look like they're actually part of the damn bush? No, they shouldn't. That, again, like, one of the things that we need to remember is that we're trying to play a fun game, and I'm sure that the person sitting in the bush has all the fun in the world, sitting there doing absolutely nothing until you chance by them.
He's a dick.
But that is not fun for the person that chances by that person, or anybody that chances by that person. Now, some people will claim strategy. Some people will claim tactical holding, blah, blah, blah. I don't care what you want to call it. It really takes away a lot of the fun when someone's camo is so effective that even when they're right in front of you, you can't see them. And that was a big issue with Battlefield 5. I believe Jack Rags even had a video of him sitting in the middle of a map in devastation. And I actually remember this specifically. And he sits there for like 3 minutes, and everyone is running around him trying to find him, but no one can find him. And he's literally sitting in the middle of the map. Like, that's too much. That's insane. And that's just too much. So it needs to be effective, but not so effective that you can literally be standing in front of somebody like a chameleon.
Yeah, I'm pretty with you there, as I'm sure anyone who has, who I have spoken to about this subject would know. Standing.
Yeah.
Camouflage, my friend. Camouflage. How effective should it be?
That's the tough part. You gotta learn to balance. You gotta have a balancing scale on between the effectiveness of the camo and visibility. Like Dred just said, everyone can attest that the first year of Battlefield Battlefield 5 was absolutely horrendous with visibility. It was the worst thing in the world. They had cosmetic skins. I think they were more snowy colored that you could wear on Fiel and would disappear. You could not see that person whatsoever. And I think there was a couple of comp matches where they actually had made sure that anybody playing comp on that map could not wear that camo, because you would blend in so horribly into the mountainside you could not be seen. So when it comes to camouflage, maybe it makes a difference with the distance that you're seeing that person. That could be more understandable, like anything over 150 meters or so. I could see where camouflage should maybe work for that, if you're playing infantry. But I would like it to be maintained on a purely cosmetic thing only. It'd be cool to have all this cool camo and stuff like that. That's awesome. Make your guy look awesome, badass, whatever. But don't make it to the point to where, like, you're standing or sitting or laying prone 3 feet away from me, I can't see you. Even if I'm staring at you, that's ridiculous. And there are clips and videos from literally every Battlefield 5 player that's ever played the damn game of having those issues. I think Annie on PC, I think last year or so, tweeted out a picture of a mountainside on Merida, and he's like, "Can you point out the enemy?" You literally cannot see the guy. And I think someone eventually did find the person. You couldn't even see the gun. I mean, there was nothing there. It was just unreal. So with camo, I don't know. Keep it cosmetic. Try to find a balance. Like I said, maybe with a distance thing. 150 meters past, you're on a desert map, and he's wearing all tan. Even in real life, you're not going to be able to really spot that guy, But balance it out to where like maybe there's a guy there. I'll leave it alone.
Again, kind of going back to what we were talking about at the beginning. It's a game. I don't mind camo that looks cool and is authentic. I think that's a really awesome aspect of the games, that they do that kind of thing. I think it mostly comes down to visibility, kind of like you were saying, where sure, it can be somewhat effective depending on the map that I'm playing on. Like sometimes I want my character to look like he belongs on a snow map, so he has like snowy camo on. That's fine. But the visibility should be good enough to the point to where I don't even necessarily need spotting to be able to point out an enemy to me. Like, sure, it can help just as a way of communicating to your squad mates or to your teammates, like there's a guy over there. But I don't want to have to rely on using a spotting flare or something like that just to be able to see people. I think that takes away from the fun factor with that kind of stuff, especially the guys in the MMG in the bush. It just seems like a bit much, you know? Like, I don't find it fun. And they might find it fun, and that's great. There's plenty of more realistic games out there that will cater to that gameplay style, and I think you probably have a better time playing a game like that because you will have more things to cater to what you want to do in that aspect. And I mean, not to gatekeep, but I mean, Battlefield is intended to be played in a certain way, and playing in the correct way is far more fun for most people. Just because of, you know, the action-packed stuff that you can do, the only in Battlefield moments, like, you don't really get to experience all that. If you just sit in a bush all match and hold a corner.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, and y'all too can correct me if I'm wrong. Battlefield is a arcade shooter, correct?
Correct.
Exactly.
A what?
It's an arcade shooter, correct?
Well, one more
Arcade
time.
shooter, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and so sitting in a bush with camo, the MMG would not be so much playing on that whole arcade kind of shooter. Yeah.
No, not when the bushes are straight out of Assassin's Creed or Hitman.
What if
Minecraft.
it's an arcade bush?
Yeah, Minecraft, yeah.
Some of those bushes are Minecrafty.
I need the arcade bushes. Damn it.
Oh, and don't forget that those bushes are also armor proof.
Oh my god!
Oh yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Can't shoot through them.
I actually had forgotten about that.
Yeah, I experienced it last night myself, throwing a throwing knife at a person that was in a bush, and the throwing knife bounced off.
Darn.
Yeah, that was great.
Darn bush knives. Oh shoot, I'm out of ammo. I mean,
I'd actually be curious to find
camo?
out how that works.
Mhm.
Like what is it that's like wrong in the code level? You know what I mean? Like what causes that?
It's got to
Exactly.
be trying to like set invisible barriers
And one of them just happened.
for certain
That's-
areas, so people can't abuse that. But then again, they're kind of abusing it anyway, so I don't understand it.
Yeah, never mind the fact that I got shot by an MMG through a straw building on the Pacific map.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
But me hiding behind a bush or him hiding behind a bush,
Hey, you know,
that's
that-
10 feet of steel armor right there.
you don't want to think about, you know, using logic too much with Battlefield 5's netcode. I've been I've seen some pretty wild things go around corners. Oh man, it's weird. And then this is kind of Deuce's topic, and I think it's actually a more interesting topic than I initially thought, and that is different types of ammo within the game. So just to kind of break this down for you viewers, because I needed it broken down a little bit for me as well. Basically, different guns have different kinds of ammo. And in Battlefield 5, when you killed someone, they dropped ammo that you could pick up, and it didn't matter what kind of ammo that person was carrying, what kind of gun they were using. Anyone could pick it up and use more ammo. It's kind of a crutch to deal with attrition. in Battlefield 6, or whatever the next title is called, should they make it to where you can only pick up the ammo of the gun that you're using, or just like the general weapon class per se? Or should it just not matter at all, like in Battlefield 5? Or should they make it to where it's literally only you can get it from a support player who drops down an ammo crate, and that's the only way that you can get your ammo? So, did we start with Deuce last, or did we start with Standing last
start
time?
with Dread again on this one.
Starting with Dread again. This is his topic.
Okay. Well, first of all, I mean, the basic question has to be answered with the first sub question, which is, should attrition be in the game? The answer to that is no. Attrition should just be gotten rid of. My particular idea with this particular topic was, could this be a attrition alternative where essentially what you're going for is that I have an SMG and you have an assault rifle. I kill you, but now I want more bullets because now my gun is really low. There doesn't appear to be a support player around me or an ammo crate around me to be able to go get more ammo. So I want to be able to pick up your gun and then therefore be able to carry ammo. So the question should be from there is, do I pick up that person's gun and get all of the ammo that they had, or do I just get the ammo that's in the gun? And I think personally, like, this is the way that I chart out the whole question. And I think personally that the only thing you should get at that point is the ammo that's in the gun. Unless there's, like 2 bullets, then they should at least give you 1 full clip. Is kind of the way I look at it. And I think this would be a good way to generate an alternative to attrition. And I obviously think it needs work. I'm not considering this a polished idea by any stretch. So just keep that in mind. But I really think that it would be a good alternative to attrition. Attrition should be removed. There shouldn't be a massive scarcity where I have to hope and pray that my teammate is going to see that I need ammo and actually decide to give me ammo, which was the majority of Battlefield 5's life. That's how it worked. And they didn't even really come up with the aura of crates until like pretty much people had stopped playing the game. And I think this would be a good way to handle an alternative to attrition. You'd still have a little bit of scarcity. And you'd have the ability to switch weapons, so you'd still have more ammo, and the ability to go kill 1 more person, 2 more people, something like that, depending on how efficient you are with your, 1 clip that you get out of the gun. That's the way that I see it.
Okay. I mean, I think the more we kind of talk about it, I do think it's a pretty solid idea. I mean, I don't really want to see attrition, but I think that could be a smart way to kind of balance between bad support players and, running out of ammo all the time and whatnot, and having to rely on medic crates versus not needing something like attrition and having to deal with that. Standing. What are your thoughts on this interesting idea?
It is a wonderfully awesome idea. The more thought I put into it, as God knows, I hate attrition.
Yes,
I hate attrition. Attrition is about as much fun as flipping a stool upside down and trying to sit on it. I can't stand attrition.
Ouch.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I mean, the one thing that I constantly see from every streamer or clip or anything else, and you hear them talking in the background, they're fighting. Come here, give me ammo. Come here, give me ammo. Come here, give me. I need ammo. I need to go find another crate to go get ammo. The attrition system is complete garbage. It does not promote team play whatsoever. It does not promote you to think more tactically at all, because if anything, you're not thinking tactically. You're like, oh shit, I hope I don't get killed while I'm trying to find more ammo or find more health. I think the attrition system is complete garbage. But the idea, like Dredd was talking about, with the okay, I'm an assault player. I kill another assault player. I can gain his ammo. I like that idea. I like the fact that I don't have to be searching for it. If I come across it, it's there. Good. Awesome. I do miss the aura effect. Aura effect, I guess you could say, of the ammo crates in Battlefield 1 and 4. Although I will say that I think the delay time of gathering ammo or whatever it was on Battlefield 4 was definitely a lot slower than what it was on Battlefield 1. It was a lot faster on Battlefield 1, as proven by the horrible grenade spam that they had during the period. Of course, it's still there. It's not as bad as it was, because I think at first they gave you like 4 gas grenades or something like that. And it would just be spammed over and over again, and you would be constantly resupplied. I think it's a beautiful idea, though, Dread.
Thank you.
I really do. The more I think about it, I'm like, damn, why is that not already in the game?
Yeah, no.
I mean, one of the critical factors of it is that you like if you are an assault player and you kill an assault player, you can still get his ammo.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it.
And then since there's no attrition, all the crates work the way they should, where it's it's an area of effect, and all you have to do is run by it, and boom, you got
Exactly. Okay, well, if I gotta sit next to that crate for 30 seconds to get me another Zook round, I'm okay with that.
Totally.
I love the idea of what you have there, man. That is really something special. I think that would probably,
There you go.
Oh no, go ahead.
It's so distinctly Battlefield because it feels like it's something that's kind of realistic. Like I kind of compare it to the bullet drop.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of realistic. Bullets drop in real life. Whereas just like an assault rifle ammunition's not going to work in an SMG. I think that's a cool idea. It adds a kind of thought process to being able to go around and pick up ammo off of guys, but you would never quite feel like you have to 100% rely on a support player coming and dropping ammo, because there were a lot of times to kind of counter what attrition was. There were plenty of times in BF1 and BF4, BF3 where you did run out of ammo, and because support players weren't doing their job, you just pretty much had to redeploy and come back with more ammo. And I think being able to have something to where you do have a chance to find more, even if it's not every single person you kill, I think it's just very distinctly a Battlefield type of mechanic that could be introduced and not feel like it's some ultra hardcore kind of thing.
Right.
And
I will say this though. It's Battlefield, and Dread, you might agree with me on this. I don't know. So with Battlefield 5, teammate whatever drops down an ammo crate, you have to press X to be able to grab that ammo. Which, by the way, I think I've voiced this opinion before. I absolutely hate. I think it's the dumbest thing they've ever added. It makes me want to fly to Stockholm and slap somebody because it's the dumbest idea. Why, in a arcade shooter game where I'm running and gunning around, why do I have to take the half second, 2 second to freaking press the X button? It's gonna glitch out on me anyway to grab the stupid ammo. As much as I hate that, I think maybe, just maybe, hear me out. If you got the ammo crate, you drop the ammo crate, and say I am an assault player, which I usually am anyway, and I love my Zooks and my grenades and stuff like that. To gather another gadget, you actually do have to press the X button or whatever the button may be to gather a gadget. But sitting next to that ammo crate still makes sure that your bullets are full. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I mean, that could work.
And that's something I agree with. You have to actually press X to get a gadget, but all your ammo just gets applied. So,
yeah, exactly.
I like it. I like it.
It just, I do, man. Dread, damn, dude, you got me really thinking about that.
Yeah, you get the old gears grinding in the old brain, you know.
I do what I do.
Yeah,
When I do what I do.
they're not very well greased right now, but yeah, it's still got them working.
They're rusty, but they're moving, man. They
Yeah,
are rusty.
man. Damn it, Dread, you need to get a job at DICE.
That's what I'm trying to tell them. Like, bro, basically, should be a developer, essentially.
Yeah, dude,
You
you need to go to Sweden or wherever they're at. I'm sorry, Stockholm, and you need to take your fro energy up there, bro. Let them know what's up.
I mean, everybody can use a
Exactly.
little extra fro energy. You know what I mean?
Especially
Everyone
me,
can
I'm
use-
bald.
a little extra fry. Why are these dudes shotgunning?
I don't have a fro on my head. I got one on my face, so that works.
He's got the face
I am
fro.
jealous of that beard. I am not gonna lie.
I baby it.
Yeah, the Kratos beard is pretty epic. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. All right. There was one other topic I kind of thought of, and it had to do again with kind of a little bit with realism, a little bit not so much. So I don't know. And that's kind of the class silhouettes. Do you guys? I know the customization's kind of a hot topic, but do you think class silhouettes are something that need to come back?
So what you're saying is should I be able to look at a particular guy and know what he is just by looking at him?
Yes.
Like the little emblem above his head, I think.
Not even have to worry about that. Just see his general outline. Like in BF1, you see a medic and he's got crutches on his back. You know it's a medic no matter which country he's fighting for. Like that kind of thing.
That falls into the whole cosmetic thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would fall into the whole cosmetic camo kind of thing. I don't see Battlefield 6 ever having cosmetics where it's going to be like Battlefield 1, though. I think they're going to grow on what they had in Battlefield 5. So if you're talking a modern game, it would have to have a very distinct marker, no matter what the cosmetic is, or whatever camo it is. It would have to have a distinct marker. I was thinking more of the lines of like, if myself personally, is looking through my scope or whatever it is, and that enemy is in front of me, I can see him spotted, but I see a little marker above his head say, "Oh, that guy's a recon."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just with the crutches on his back, that was okay for Battlefield 1. It was kind of a cosmetic for that person's or whatever faction they were playing on. But with Battlefield 6, we kind of already know, all of us at least, that they're gonna have cosmetics that are gonna be interchangeable with that person, whatever your avatar is. It's gonna have to be very distinct. I mean, if I'm running up against an assault player, I mean, if he's got an RPG on his back, I'm gonna kind of know that. But how would you do that for the medic class at least? How would you do that for support class, recon?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's ways that you can kind of have it modernized to where it would work. For a more modern setting, to where it isn't just like BF1. I think maybe, like you said, the RPG for assault, maybe it's not RPGs, maybe it's just I don't know, you can see like C4 packs on them or something if that's what they give them.
Yeah, that's kind of more what I was thinking. Was the best idea would be to have, because like especially if we're talking modern, which we all assume it's going to be. I think
Right.
that you'd understand that in a modern time, most soldiers look generally the same when you look at them. The difference is what they're carrying. So the realism aspect would come in the you see what they're carrying, and therefore if you can see what they're carrying and have enough time to discern what that is, you can now figure out what class that person is.
Okay, but how would you implement that? And just saying, in a modern setting. I mean, because if I don't know if y'all have it or not. Okay, me being in the military and seeing soldiers and Marines off a boat or coming out of a plane, when they're fully kitted, you cannot tell the difference of what their particular job is. I mean, if there's a guy that's in their group that is a machine gunner, the only way you will be able to tell that is when he's carrying his big ass machine gun.
Right,
You know,
by
so
the weapon
how-
that he chose.
Yeah,
So
but
if he has other gadgets, then that are hanging off of his body, that's what you notice.
right. But you wouldn't be able to spot the sniper in that group.
If you see a sniper rifle, then yes, you would.
I mean,
Yeah, if he's carrying the sniper rifle, yeah.
you could battlefield it up. I mean, you could give some of the snipers like the netting. I can't remember what it's called right now. Can't remember the word for it. But like the kind of environmental looking outfit, you could do support has maybe
the
ammo
ghillie
crates, like the tin can looking things. I don't know what they use these days. Those kinds of things, just hanging off of them. Medic could have, I don't know, defibrillator packs, something like that. I mean, there's ways you could probably make it distinct and still looks cool like Battlefield.
I'm not disagreeing with y'all. I just want to know how it would be implemented because it's you want to keep within the arcade shooter game, which it is, but you
Right.
kind of want like we had talked about earlier, that cosmetic realism.
Right, so you get to choose your outfit, but that's where the cosmetic ends. After that, you're choosing your kit. Your kit shows.
Right.
So yeah, I could see like support player maybe having some ammo cases on his backpack or something like that.
Right, like you can see the crate or the extra, the extra amount of pouches that he grabs the ammo from. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or if he's a sniper, he's got a big ass rifle hanging off his back or whatever.
Or a spotting
Okay.
scope or something.
Okay.
I'm not entirely sure what would work for every class, but the one part that I hesitate about is having it, like you said, the netting. The thing that instantly kind of grabbed me about that was, well, then that kind of limits the cosmetics that you're actually allowed to choose then.
Well, it doesn't have to be that. I was just trying to come up with an example.
No, I know. Well, so but it just kind of jogged my thought process on that. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, you'd still want to be careful that you don't want to ruin people's ability to choose the cosmetic that they want.
True, but you
Right.
could also have class specific
And that's the way I think they should
cosmetics.
do it. That's the way I think they should do it. There
Like
should be a
class specific?
plethora- Yeah, there should be a plethora of different kinds within each class that you get to choose. But they're all very specifically that class. You know what I mean? Like they have each a style. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
see, I agree with that because in Battlefield 5 they got that ghillie suit that's for the Germans and the Americans. Yeah, you can wear it with any class. And it's just so fucking annoying. I mean, that's just my opinion. It's annoying as shit. There's nothing more annoying than having some dude wearing a ghillie suit in Iwo Jima, hiding in a bush with a damn, assault rifle. It's horrible. But yeah, class specific, cosmetics could be definitely cool. I don't see where it would really limit. Oh well, I bought this for whatever 200 boins or something crap like that, but I can only use it with my recon. But I like the idea.
Well, I was thinking like you get like a pack, so like there's a distinct kind of theme in a pack that you might get of skins, and it gives you one for each class,
That'd be cool.
So like you could have like, I don't know, just kind of come up with one like a jungle themed pack, and you've got like this more dark green kind of themes. You got some kind of maybe ripped sleeves. I don't know, that's probably a little too unrealistic, but those kinds of things to where it's like a theme, but each class has its own distinct silhouette that it can keep while still having that theme, but you can
For each
customize them
class.
all
Right.
in a way that feels fitting for that role.
Yeah, that roller class. And okay, yeah, that sounds cool. I would love to see DICE try to do that, but we know how they are about things. I love you, DICE. I do love you, DICE. Don't get me wrong. And that would be kind of cool. I mean, would you, like you were saying, just to have you kind of repeat it, but would it be individual for each? Like you get a jungle themed outfit or whatever, it would look differently for each class. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so I mean, it would have like the general kind of like jungle camo theme, but each class retains its silhouette, but has some slight variation that just has to do with that particular theme.
Okay.
Maybe there's like a Spec Ops one or
Right.
cool stuff like that, where it's like, you know, one's like all black kind of thing, and then each class has like this ultra stealth look to it, or I don't know. There's tons of ways they could go with it.
Oh, all black, yeah. Like that already.
like the Noctigal uniform that you love so much.
That's my baby right there.
Yeah, so you can have that with all your classes, and it's unique to each class. There you go. See? You're welcome. See, DICE, I'm just trying to make you money here.
Juice, what do you think, man?
I think it all sounds beautiful.
That's because it is.
I don't know. I'm so ready for this, man. I just want a leaked trailer, please. That's all I want.
Same.
Just give me 6 seconds so I can drool over it for the next couple months.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll start to see a few more things as we get closer and closer. I mean, supposedly it's coming out in May or something like that. That's what everyone's kind of hinting at.
I've seen May, but I've seen a lot more people start talking about April now.
I mean, earlier the better, to be honest. I think there needs to be long.
I think who was it? Somebody I was talking with had mentioned it. You know, they EA, DICE, whatever, says that they're moving at a faster pace than they ever had before. They may have an earlier launch for this game that they've never had before. You know, which everybody's excited about. Yeah, have you not seen that?
I've seen some stuff about how they're moving quick. I haven't heard about an earlier launch, but I mean,
yeah, they were talking about possibility that they may release a teaser trailer in April instead of May because they're moving so fast with the game. And I was like, well, that's a possibility, you know. That's not really what DICE has ever done. I mean, they basically made all teaser trailers come out during May anyway.
Yeah.
They've never done an April release. I don't know.
I mean, I say the sooner they announce it, the better. As far as release goes, I'm still kind of on board the take your time if you need to kind of train.
Yeah.
I'm not in a hurry. I mean, I am, but I'm not kind of deal. I want it to be as good as it can be.
Yeah, because we all know how Battlefield 5 turned out.
Yeah, rough.
All right.
Rough time.
So let
They
me
delayed
ask
the
you
release.
guys then.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this then. What would happen if it got delayed? How much of a
I'd be
delay
okay
could you
with that.
tolerate?
I'd be okay with that.
How much of a delay could you actually tolerate though? Before you'd actually start being like, maybe I'm just not going to buy this game at all, kind of thing.
If they
People do
delay it
that.
like a month, that's fine. I feel like that's kind of a typical
did last
thing. I
time.
know BF5 got delayed a month.
Yep.
But I mean, if they delay it like 6 months to a year, that tells me there's some issues going on with it. At least in my opinion, because they've had this much time already. You know.
I'm a little more lenient. I'd say 3 to 4 months would be the maximum for a delay. I mean, because like we've all said before, we're not game developers. We have no idea what it goes into coding and stuff like that. So, you know, I had said from the get-go when Battlefield 5 first released, I was like, shit, they should have spent like 3 more extra months, you know, polishing this all out. And they said, oh, well, we tested it. We made sure. And every time there was a patch, oh, we tested it. I'm like, Did you really? Or are you just telling
Doesn't
us?
feel like it.
Yeah, because there was a couple patches. Oh, we tested out. We got it certified. I'm like, who was doing it? Was it a team of lobsters in a tank? That yeah, it's good. 'Cause y'all definitely should have tried a little harder. Like I know it's game development. I know it's hard. It's code writing, everything else. But you mean to tell me you don't have a team of 50, 60 people playing the game? For a couple of hours a day, going, hey, maybe we should fix this. Something.
Shoot.
I don't know.
I'd help
Like
them
like I
test
said,
it.
yeah, like I said, yeah, I would too. Please, dice, please, dice. Us three right here. Let us be the testers. Let you know. But yeah, I'm more lenient on it. I think 3 to 4 months. If they delayed it that much longer, I'd be okay with that. That means it'd come out sometime shortly after Christmas. But if
I think
it's
that's
complete,
more around spring.
yeah, the springtime, I'd be okay as long as it's a complete game. As
Yeah.
long as the game modes are there, as long as RSP is there, the rental server program and all that, as long as that's there, if it's free, that's fine too. As long as it's complete, as long as
Right.
it has the battle royale mode there day one for free to play, without having to buy Battlefield 6.
Yep.
As long as the game is complete, I'm okay if they have to delay it, 3-4 months. But if they delayed a month and it's not a complete game, you're looking at Battlefield 5 2.0.
Okay,
That's
well,
pretty
here's
much the
here's
gist
how
of
I
it.
kind of look at it.
Jared?
The way that I look at it is slightly different. I think it's probably not fairly common way to look at it. But the one of the things that happens when there's a delay is that expectations go up. Whether or not that is justified at all, expectations go up. At that point, the game should be better in people's minds than it would have had you just come out with it finished the way you were supposed to. So like once you get to like the point where CD Projekt Red's latest game, what's it called?
Cyberpunk.
Yeah,
Oh
Cyber.
yes, yeah,
So
Cyberpunk. Oh yeah.
once you're talking about that level, where it's now been delayed, what was it, like a year?
Yeah, it was
Something
about a year. Yeah.
Long
And,
ass time.
Yeah, and so like when that came out, the expectation for it was probably double what it actually should have been. Now, they obviously still should have done a better job for like, old gens and stuff like that, but like the expectations still went up greatly. So like the problem, like that's kind of the problem that I see with the delay. So at a certain point, do you just brace your player base for we're still gonna have to fix this, but it's going to come out on time? Or do we delay it and now everyone's expectations are going to be even higher for it, and now when it fails that, because that's what's going to happen in that case, because everyone's expectations are going to be too high already, you know what I mean, then the game is going to be considered a failure. You know what I mean? And like, so like, I don't know. Like, I am personally on the side of take as long as you need to complete the game, because I personally think that games have gotten so complex these days that they probably should be on like a 3-year cycle. And quite honestly, if they do a good enough job with the game, I can play a Battlefield game for 3 straight years. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's been near that with Battlefield 5, and that is not the greatest game. And I've still come back to it from time to time. I'm actually playing it currently. You know what I mean? So,
Well, I mean, just look at BF4, BF1. People still play the crap out of those games. I mean, I'm playing it right now. BF1's amazing. I have no problem taking extra time so we can play a game that's really good for a longer amount of time. Because it's not like single player games where you kind of play it and then you're done, and then maybe there's a story DLC. You can put tons of time into an FPS game like Battlefield. There's so much you can do and so many different experiences to be had. Take your time with it. I mean, honestly, just as an example, if they had just given a third year of support to BF1, just release like a couple more DLCs. Do some interesting stuff. Do like the Russians versus the Ottomans. Do some lesser known battles. It's just some fun stuff like that, just to keep us interested in BF1 rather than rush out BF5. And now the series feels like it has to get it right this time, whereas it could have been building off of a kind of high point in a way going into whatever the next game is going to be.
And actually, what you say is something I've heard multiple times.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm not the first person
multiple
to come
times.
up with this.
Yeah, definitely not the first person, and definitely not the last person. But many people had said, "Man, y'all should have just continued, maybe rolling out some content with Battlefield 1. Man, it kept us happy while y'all worked on Battlefield 5, and I think everybody would have been fine with that."
Yep.
But you know, Battlefield 5, they could have added some more content, but the live service thing. So
Yeah.
see how that turned.
With the live service, because I saw a lot of people compare it to Modern Warfare, and they're like, oh, look how much content Modern Warfare is able to crank out. And I'm like, well, Battlefield 5 kind of started and then had to restart everything before they could start releasing new content, because they were having issues right off the beginning. I mean, I'm sure they had plenty of content ready before launch as far as cosmetics go, but then people say, oh, we don't want that crap. We want more authentic looking World War II. And then they kind of have to go back to the drawing board on that. Whereas Modern Warfare was received extremely positively, and they could just start cranking out the maps that they probably already had set up and ready to go for the most part. I mean, again, I think the live service depends on how good the game is and how well it's received. And that's probably why comebacks for games are going to be harder to see in some cases, like BF5. But then you also have Battlefront 2 type situations where you do have a really nice comeback for that game, and it becomes an actually amazing game later on.
Well, they did the right thing with Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
They went on the right path with Battlefront 2. They realized, okay, we screwed up. Let's fix this the right way. And they made everybody happy. I mean, hell, I still play Battlefront 2 at least 2 or 3 times a week, man, because it is a blast of a game to play.
Oh, yeah.
But to touch on what Ed was talking about with Cyberpunk, I remember just a few months before it, I remember when they delayed the game. And I remember when or about 2 or 3 months before the game actually did finally release, the hype for that game was unreal. Everyone was talking about how amazing the game's going to be. Oh, it's going to have so much content. Oh, all this great stuff. And I saw tweets about it daily. And then when the game finally dropped, and when people started finally playing it, a lot of the tweets I saw was, what the hell is this? Why is the game so buggy? Why is content missing? Why is it... everybody was complaining about it. I knew several people that had been waiting on that game for ages, that bought that game pre-order, got the game, and they were like, I'm never touching this thing ever. They were completely disappointed by it. Even after it was delayed, I think it was an actual full year.
Yeah, I mean, I was one of those people. I got Cyberpunk. I haven't played it since the first time I booted it up because I got every single bug in the book. But, yeah, there definitely is a balance you have to keep with expectations versus what reality is. And I mean, I don't think a studio ever wants to temper expectations for people, but to an extent, if it's going to be that detrimental to your brand, they should probably do something like that if that's the case, because no one wants that situation. DICE can't really afford that situation. People are already talking about how BF6 is supposed to be what saves FPS games.
We'll see.
Yeah, that's a really tall task to put on a game that just came off of BF5, or a studio that just came off of BF5.
Optimistic, but we'll see.
I'm for sure optimistic. I think they can do it. I think kind of the way it's been described by a lot of people who have been sharing rumors about it, it sounds like it's going very well, and I'm excited to see what it is. Will it be exactly what I'm looking for? That's the part I'm honestly the least sure about. I think quality-wise, it'll be there, but I don't know if it's going to be the kind of game that most Battlefield players might be looking for, because that was kind of one of the big leaks from that Henderson guy who's like, it's not quite what most Battlefield players might be looking for, but it's going to be good. And I mean, again, it's a leak. It's take it with a grain of salt. You know,
yeah.
May not be true at all.
Dread, we need more of your beautiful pro energy. Tell us what the game's going to be like.
I agree.
we need that. We need that energy.
Yeah.
I will do my best to provide.
Thank you. Thank you, good sir.
Oh man.
I just got to remind myself not to play as a long-range sniper around Jaws.
Yeah, I definitely won't be. So you're my squad. You know, might have to find a new squad mate.
It won't be too hard.
Oh man. I mean, in the right situation, I understand sniping. PTFO snipers, I have the ultimate respect for. That is incredibly difficult to do. But the hill humpers is where I draw the line. Don't hill hump.
I pick a hill and I name it Sally. Hump Sally. It's not camping, it's tactical waiting.
I'm tactically waiting, guys.
I kid. I only long range snipe when it's hey guys, because I hate those dudes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm toxic.
That's okay. We're all a little toxic. Like MMGers. We should go play Hell Let Loose.
God. I hate those douchebags.
We're the artillery truck guys. Since we're playing BF1, or since I'm playing BF1 right now, the artillery truck guys are the worst. Sit in the spawn.
We're definitely gonna have an episode specifically about camping.
Oh yeah,
yeah, we should.
Oh yeah,
we can camp while we do the episode. It'll be really easy. It'll be like a podcast.
Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah,
well, just me and standing. Since I guess Deuce can't be there, we'll just sit in the spawn and just stare at each other. Be like a
then we can talk about all the players that played Battlefield 5 and were MMG campers, got bored with the game, and then went back to Battlefield 1 and did the exact same shit.
Yeah, dude, I did notice that when I went back to play BF1. I was like, oh my god, all the BF5 players are here.
Yeah, you can tell who they are.
Everyone's still prone. I don't remember this being the case when I originally played BF1.
This isn't how it's supposed to be.
You can play Battlefield 1 and literally pick out who plays Battlefield 5 the most, because you're like, oh look, he's playing as support class with an MMG laying in a bush. Yep,
there
you played Battlefield 5.
GG's.
Oh man.
Oh man, my cat's talking to me right now. I don't know if you guys can hear her on the mic.
Yeah, a little bit.
She just woke up from her nap.
I'm too hyped up right now anyway. I've had me 2 energy drinks while sitting here.
Oh man, what kind of energy drinks do you drink?
Bang.
Oh, same.
Yeah.
Same. I get like
I'm drinking my my Fortnite Rainbow Unicorn.
Yeah. Do you get like the 24 pack from Costco where it's got like the mix of them?
Yeah, dude, that's what's sitting underneath my countertop right now.
Yeah, that's what I get too. Yeah, Rainbow Unicorn, baby.
Yeah, I don't have a Costco, but I it's called Sam's Club. But yeah, that's where I get it from.
The same thing. Yeah, that's what we had in Georgia. They are pretty identical. Honestly, Sam's Club, Costco have like the most bomb pizza. I don't know why, but it's my favorite thing to go to a little cafe. I fucking love it.
I love it because most times I can pick one up that's got pineapple on
it.
Yeah. Dread.
Come on, Deuce. We need
pineapple not on pizza.
I need to know how you're dealing with the pizza.
I
What is
mean,
this
have
medic
you
doing?
ever been to like a Brazilian restaurant
I've not.
Yeah.
where
That sounds.
they have roasted pineapple and they put cinnamon and sugar on it?
I know exactly what you're talking about. We got a restaurant here in my town. Two twin brothers from Brazil. They opened up a restaurant here, and it's all South American cuisine. And they serve this roasted pineapple. And I think it's got like nutmeg and cinnamon on it, and something else too. But it's a fantastic meal that they do. But they also cook it with like pork as well. They do like a roasted pineapple on pork. Man, it's fantastic.
That
That
sounds
sounds good.
elite.
It just doesn't go on pizza.
It does.
It does.
No,
it
it
does.
doesn't.
If
No.
you add
No.
if you add other things
No.
by itself,
No.
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 By itself, absolutely not.
No.
But if you
I'm gonna
add
make-
jalapeno,
No.
I'm gonna make a pineapple only pizza, and I'm gonna film it and post it.
My God.
crust
Just
is going
so
to be
Deuce
made
has
out of
to watch it.
pineapple.
The only
It's
thing
gonna
you're
be
get-
like
the only thing you're getting from me is that spammed comments of this is outrageous. This should be taken down. I'm calling the ASPCA. I don't know. Whoever
I'll be even worse and make it out of spam and pineapple. How about that?
ooh, Canadian bacon and pineapple. Do the classic combo.
No, just spam. Just fried
Just spam.
spam with pineapple.
Ultimate Hawaiian with anchovies.
Oh
That's
my
See,
kicker.
see the
God.
oh my god! I love anchovies.
I've actually never had anchovies, so that'd be a first.
It's nasty. as
Oh, they're
fuck.
salty, oily. They're so good.
So gross.
Dread over here
definitely
hating on me,
doing
but
this.
no. I like pineapple pizza with mind you, it's gotta have jalapenos,
No.
sausage. It's
No.
so good.
No, that sounds amazing. Actually,
You got spicy, sweet, and
Don't
that
let him
sausage.
brainwash you, Jaws. Don't let him brainwash you.
brainwash. I'm already on board.
Gross. Oh my God. I've lost him. I've lost him.
Yeah, see, it's delicious, man. Especially when those jalapeno juices, capsaicin drips out and starts melting along with the cheese.
Man, I used to eat jalapenos right out the jar.
Pizza is not supposed to drip.
Yes,
Oh
it
my
is.
God.
Oh yeah, it's supposed to drip cheese. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's supposed to drip.
Oh, it's not.
Good margarita pizza too. Oh my god.
Yeah, margarita's not bad. I can only eat it if they put pepperoni on it.
Yeah,
Can't do the just
margarita.
tomato.
Well, I think down here in the South they call it a margarita. In New York, I think they just call it a Caribbean pizza or something like that.
Caribbean? I've never heard that.
Yeah, it's Caribbean or something else. I went to New York and I tried to ask for a margarita pizza, and they're like, "What's that?" And I was like, "Well, it's
You want
got
what?"
basil, you know." Yeah. And they're like, "What do you want?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's got basil and mozzarella, you know, cheese, you know, margarita
No
pizza." And they're
good
like,
stuff.
like a Caribbean?" I'm like, "I don't know."
What
Whatever
the hell's a
that is.
Caribbean pizza?
Oh, they threw pineapple on it, so I was happy.
Here you go. Deuce would be
Gotta love
happy.
localities. Yeah, so happy. So happy it ended up on the ground. That's a pizza all waste, alright? I'm not into wasting food, but that's a pizza all waste.
Deuce, you can't
worse,
waste pizza.
Dude, if
be
it
worse.
has pineapple on it, you better get it away from me. Alright, that's all I'm saying.
It'd be worse, man. You could be one of those weird guys that likes melted bubble gum and banana pizzas.
Ooh.
That literally almost made me vomit.
I'm not kidding. I've seen it.
Yikes.
I won't touch it. I won't touch it. I've seen
No
people
one
eat
should.
it.
That sounds illegal.
Melted cheese and banana and bubble gum. And I'm like,
How would you even eat that? It's got bubble gum on it. You like can't ever finish.
melted bubble gum.
What?
Yeah, yeah. Trust me, I'd rather eat balut if I ever eat that. And balut is some nasty stuff, but it tastes
I'm
great.
s-
It just
I'm
smells horrible.
speechless. I'm like legitimately speechless.
I would rather suck down haggis for a week before eating that. Yeah. And I like haggis. I love haggis, actually.
I can stomach it, but it's definitely not on my list of favorites.
It's better than spotted dick. I mean, you know.
Whoa, standing. I know that's a British dish, but come on.
What?
You know, it's
What
funny
a
is
dick
when I
is
was
that?
when I was like 13, I went to visit my dad in Colorado, and he was like, "You guys want to get some Colorado oysters?"
Oh no, mountain oysters.
Or yeah, Rocky Mountain oysters or whatever.
Yeah.
And my brother apparently knew what this was. I did not, but I could tell by both the smirks on their faces that I was like, "Nope, I think I'm good."
Come on, Dredd. You don't want to eat some bull nuts?
Not particularly. Not particularly. I don't know, man. It just I don't. Is there a nutritional value to that? Like,
Yeah, actually, they're very nutritious.
well, these ones were
Tons.
fried. That doesn't sound like anything
Yeah,
nutritious.
that's just flavor. That's all that is. That's just flavor picking. I mean, I've had them before where they're boiled. I've had them pan fried. It really doesn't. I like them pan fried better. So olive oil and some thyme and garlic in there. It's actually really good.
Yeah, this
Olive
was just
y'all.
like straight up, like no flavoring, just breading, fried. Boom. There's your bull testicle. And I was like, for real, like, no, that doesn't sound good. Like, damn.
Oh, it's great.
Throw 'em in some
You just gotta
chili
watch out
sauce,
for the
fry
cream
'em
in the
up like
center.
that,
That's
you know
all.
what I mean? Like, ooh. See, you gotta.
Watch out for the cream in the center.
It's like a filled donut, man. I mean,
Oh, man. I don't eat filled donuts either, bro.
I'm kidding. That's totally not it.
I don't though. I hate
Any
You
donut
make
is a
it
good
that way.
donut.
jelly
Pump it full
filled,
of
cream
cheese.
filled. I can't stand that in donuts.
The best donuts, I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but the best donuts are cake donuts. I don't care what anyone says. Chocolate cake donut, give me every time.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Okay,
I
so
don't-
like, there's this place that I used to go to back in Wisconsin. It was a Woodman's. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Woodman's. It's a grocery store though. And they had a bakery that would do chocolate cake donuts that were glazed, and then on the glazed, they would add chocolate frosting. Dude, if you want to talk about chocolate decadence, this was it. These were the most, like, because they were always moist. It was literally like eating a piece of like chocolate cake, like the entire way. It was,
That's
Ooh.
elite.
yeah. I used to buy those things. Like, I remember there were times I would actually get up early before work to like go get these donuts, like as the place opened up, so that way I would be assured that they were there, because they ran out of those super fast.
Dread knocking on the door. Y'all open yet? It's 2:00 in the morning, man. Go away.
Well, Woodman's was a 24-hour store, so you could still get in. It was just whether or
Oh.
not the bakery was actually open.
Oh damn.
I just want to point out right now that I just got artillery trucked, revived, and then Ilya Murametzed,
Oh, that's
and I
just
kind of want to
cancer.
die.
That is
That's-
an only in Battlefield moment right there.
That's cancer with the chemo and then getting cancer again. Oh my god.
I just need an MMGer to show up.
I don't know.
Oh,
That's more
Jesus,
like cancer with the chemo, and then you got radiation poisoning instead.
No, you
Yeah.
don't want the MMG or after that, dude. That's like adding herpes onto the cancer. That's just ugh.
What happens in Battlefield stays in Battlefield, okay?
I'm sorry. Sometimes my analogies are just off the wall. You can blame the Navy for that one.
I went to a military school. I know how it is.
Yeah.
You heard some of the cadences we had to sing.
Dude, I was
Oh, the
raised in a
yellow bird?
military family. I could tell
Yeah.
jokes to make people play.
Yeah.
Dude, oh my god, this artillery truck. He
Yellow
is like
bird on a windowsill, man. That's one of my favorite ones.
No, we had a one of our substitute teachers was like this old Vietnam era dude, and apparently he was like a ranger or something like that. And he was crazy. Like, I don't even know how he got certified to teach the class, but he was like doing all these like old school like cadences he would teach us, and they were all like fucked up. I mean, I can't remember all of them, obviously, because I only had them a couple of times, but I just remember being like, what the fuck? I'm like 15. But, I mean, it was kind of funny. We'd go around announcing I'm at drill period. Make sure
Sounds about right.
everyone knows.
We had some nasty ones, too. Of course, my favorite thing was singing cadence without words, just counting 1, 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
Counting it using the Imperial March from Star Wars. It was the funnest thing that we used to do, man. We would sing the Imperial March by fours, 1, 2, 3, 41, 41. And it was everybody's doing the left, right. It was we had so much fun.
It sounds amazing.
Oh yeah, we used to do a drill called the Matrix, and everybody would be lined up, 4 people in a line, and then everybody all the way back. And it's like you do your cadence call, you'd be marching, and then the drill instructor would shout out Matrix, and then everybody would stop and then like move slowly, like arch their back slowly, like they were dodging bullets from the Matrix. And then he'd count off again, and we'd keep marching. It was weird and funny.
Worth it.
Yeah, it was worth it.
Totally.
Of course, we're in the Navy, so it was a bunch of weird shit anyway. Just a bunch of dudes, man.
That's those are stories for another episode.
Yeah, you really start to rethink your life choices when you're in a shower with 88 dudes.
I'm gonna go home and rethink my life.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because they're just gonna let you waltz right out of there too. Oh man.
Oh man.
Hello.
I mean, I guess we've kind of wrapped up the episode here. I don't really have to say that.
I kind of felt like we did that like 20 minutes ago.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't know. We haven't really been talking about Battlefield for a little bit.
Yeah.
And
This is
old
a
testicles and all that
this is a
stuff.
personal episode.